You- Yo, guys, what is good? Welcome back to the Uncle Sharma channel. Um, I am using a new web streaming software called Restream. So get in the chat and let me know if everything's working all right, because it could be some technical issues. So quickly, chat, my trusty chat people, let me know if everything is working all right. Can you hear me? Can you hear the background music, or is it too loud? Like, I'm just trying to test out some new things. Let me know in the chat if you can, please. Um, Obviously here today to talk about Inter's latest news today on 30th of September. Can't seem to see the chat. What is going on? Can't seem to see any comments coming through. There we go. Audio is good. There we go. Nice. King Dorian in the house. Yuha in the house. I think the comments are just coming a little bit slow. Thank you. Audio is good. Looks and sounds good. Nice. That's what I like to hear. Looking fresh. Yeah, man. Thank you very much. You looking fresh with that Epic Brozo exclusive member only emoji. Boca in the house as well. What's up, brother? So I'm just trying something a little bit different, because this platform is supposed to let me stream to YouTube, but also Twitch, and also Twitter. Actually, let me actually check, because they're actually working on Twitter. Because it'll be good if looks like it's working. Cool, nice. I might start using this more often. Reach out. You can reach to more people like this, Twitch people, Twitter people, whatever you guys use. Really happy with this. Make sure you guys are leaving a thumbs up as soon as you're here. Then we're gonna get into it straight away today. Not too much time wasting. Keshav in the house as well. He says going for the Matrix look. Yeah, you can see in the back, got the whole Matrix look going on. I'm good, bro. Thank you very much. A weekly fresh fade, yeah, man. It has to be done, especially when I come on stream. I can't be looking too much like a scrub. Have to be looking correct with you guys. Ordered this new half zip as well. This is from last season's Champions League kit, as in the Champions League half zip training kit. So I quite like it, even though it's got the old logo, but I quite like it. I quite like this season's one as well. The that mint greeny one that they've got, but it's like £60. So this one was on offer on Amazon. So I'm gonna wait for the price to drop on that one. But yeah, need to up my game on Inter merch. A lot of people always make fun of me for my room always looking empty, all this kind of stuff. So I'm gonna try to buy more things, even though I do like the minimalist look in my room. But yeah, a few things to cover today, guys. First of all, the stadium news. So there's been finally an update on the stadium news. It's been a while. We've been waiting for it. It's nothing too surprising, to be fair. It's a little bit it's disappointing, but also at least it's a step in the right direction finally. So as the article here translated by sempreinter.com, so there was two architectural firms that were kind of entasked to come up with a project for the new San Siro, the replacement for the San Siro by Milan and Inter. So the two clubs came together for this. It's going to be a joint effort. It's not going to be Inter on their own or AC Milan on their own. And out of the two projects, Populous is the one that is set to win. Today it was announced, because it was out for some sort of voting or some sort of decision, where the final design was going to be chosen. And as has been reported by Corriere della Sera, Populous will be chosen to complete the exciting but difficult task of replacing the historic San Siro with a more modern, purpose-built stadium and entertainment complex. However, this is the big caveat. There are still elections to be held in Milan, so there's no final decision on whether the actual stadium is going to be built, whether the San Siro will be torn down. There's still final decisions to be made on that. Still awaiting on the Milan Council, on the bureaucracy to give the all clear on all these things. And this is not a small caveat. This is a big caveat. We know in Italy is a massive issue. Stadium building. Ask the Roma owners, James Pallotta, who was there last, this last decade. Ask Rocco Commisso, who just came in. Ask anyone in the Italian, in Italian ownership who've tried to build a stadium and it hasn't worked out. It's just too much bureaucracy in Italy. Um, so um, so no official decision is expected to be communicated to the fans until late October at the earliest, and I'll be surprised if it is until late October. But yeah, let's take a quick look. If you guys didn't know what the difference was between the two projects that were available or were submitted, so one was called Populous. So there's actually a website you can visit. It's called nuovostadiodimilano.com. So you can actually go on there and look at both of the submitted proposals. Milan Inter, rivals on the pitch, joined forces for the sake of the city, sake of football, and the city of Milan, submitting a joint feasibility proposal for the construction of a new stadium. But also, guys, it's the development of a new sports district in San Siro. And why is it so important that everyone? We all love San Siro. We know it's the most iconic stadium out there in Europe. When people know about San Siro, the look of it, everything, the towers, the feel, the noise, the atmosphere, everything about San Siro is just iconic. The amount of trophies won there, but it's not owned by Inter or Milan. It's council owned. It's owned by the Council of Milan. Both Milan and Inter pay yearly, a lot of rent, a few millions a year to rent the Milan Stadium, the San Siro Stadium, the Meazza Stadium. So it's very vital. And actually, there's a very good tweet from Daniele Mari that kind of puts into perspective exactly how much of a difference a new stadium would make or a company owned or a club owned stadium makes to the revenue for Inter. So let me just get that. Let me just find that tweet from Daniele Mari. Here it is. I'm sharing my screen with you guys. So these are the potential incomes. These are the calculated estimates, so that nothing is nothing is confirmed in terms of or particularly accurate. But usually these estimates are done by experts who know their stuff. So let me translate that for you guys. Stadium revenues for Inter 2018. So from Deloitte, so these are certified numbers. 35 million in 2018, and then a historical record. I think that's for Italy. Historical record over 45 million generated. So this was before the pandemic by the stadium in terms of revenue, and then on top of that, as I said, you have to pay there's no counting the rent that Inter paying to the Council of Milan. But revenue forecast with the new stadium is 69 from the new stadium. So because you get a bigger share of the tickets and the merchandise and all that kind of stuff. So 69 from the stadium itself. So already big increase by owning the stadium, already almost 15 million more compared to 2019. But the one thing people don't realize is the new stadium is not just about the straight up stadium. 55 million from the entertainment district. So this will be the area surrounding it, which we're going to take a look at the moment, what the idea was, the proposal was. So overall, approximately 124 million per year are expected from just stadium revenue if these plans are approved. And yeah, like we can take a quick look at both the projects. Where is it? So stadium. So there was two. So we'll take a look at the one that's one. The Cathedral is the one that actually it looks like will be chosen, the one by Populous. But we'll take a look at the Rings of Milan, whose King Darian says he was preferring this one. Both very modern designs, and nothing wrong with either of those. To be honest, I prefer Populous, but even this one is nice. The only reason I didn't like this one, the Rings of Milan, is because it's quite similar to a lot of existing stadiums out there. Actually, if you look at it reminds me a little bit of the Juve stadium. Together, all this kind of marketing design stuff, sustainable. So this is the area around. This is the other parts that's going to bring revenue to Inter and Milan. This surrounding area. Parks, entertainment, cinemas, shopping centers, parking. Football pitches. Let's skip this bit. Yeah, so you see from the outside, it looks quite similar to the to me anyway, it looks quite similar to the Juventus stadium or other modern stadiums out there. It looks really nice and like it's a very nice design. But like design wise, I feel like yeah, you see like the ability to convert it into a concert arena like San Siro already is, but we don't get any money from that. Um, and the surrounding area also looks very modern, state of the art. Then this is designed by Sportium. This is the architecture firm that's designing Sportium. Um, what else is there? The gallery. Let's see if we can find better pictures. Yeah, you can see. I mean, it looks like those pictures of Wakanda in in the Black Panther film or something like that. Like super futuristic, lots of greenery, lots of trees. But it's about all the area. It's not just about the stadium. It's about the area surrounding the stadium that's going to bring in the revenue. The job creation for the creating the stadium, and then the jobs that are going to be to need to run the whole infrastructure around it. So really and truly the Milan council should be I really don't understand why they wouldn't approve of something like this. And the inside looks really nice, but the actual winning, or it looks like it's going to be the winning project, is the Cathedral. And this was my personal favorite out of the two, because I feel like the design is very unique. Yes, it's a little bit square, a little bit maybe not as modern looking as the other one, but I feel like it's got a bit more of a unique look to it. And they're looking to preserve more of the San Siro. So there's a part where it says like it preserves a part of the actual one of the towers of the existing San Siro will be preserved. I believe maybe it will be this one, or yeah, like kind of in the design. The very it's an ode to the San Siro in terms of the design as well. This is why I prefer it. You can see like it's very much inspired by the existing tower and the spiral design. The inside, of course, looks really nice. On a derby day, when the majority of Inter fans. And yeah, this is going to be the restaurants area in and around the VIP area. This is really the money generator. Skyscrapers, probably apartments and things like that around the area. This is really that's going to be the money generator for Milan and Inter. So it's really important that that Inter do. Oh, I didn't even share my screen there. Sorry, guys. I didn't realize my screen wasn't shared with you guys for the Cathedral. So you can see here, the Cathedral is a lot more. There's more of an ode to the San Siro. Where did the picture go? Let's go to the gallery. Yeah, you can see here, like it's very much inspired by the San Siro, by the Meazza Stadium, the tower. Yeah, so this is why I prefer. I'm quite happy that this one is the winning project, and it seems like it will have two different entrances. So this is probably going to be like the Milan entrance, the red side, the Devil entrance, and then there's probably going to be an Inter entrance. Obviously, this is like all the VIP club bit. Meazza Stadium, look at that. That looks like it's going to be really nice. But yeah, I'm really happy that this is the winning project. To be honest, yeah, this is the Inter entrance. I mean, look how good that looks. Seeing that on a Champions League night, or on a big Serie A night, that's really good sight. Yeah, it's just needed. It needs to happen for Inter and Milan to come to the 21st century. Um, yeah, it looks similar to the Juventus Stadium exactly. That's why I didn't quite like the two ring design. Um, Wish we could build a stadium that looks like San Siro without the roof. Yeah. I mean, that would be my ideal would have been to, like, if we could buy the San Siro and renovate it. But apparently, from what I read, renovating the San Siro is such a difficult task because it's so old, and it's about to collapse in some places. It's really it's a really old stadium, so the cost of it probably is probably just as much as building a new one would be to renovate San Siro. And you can't the yeah, negotiating with the Milan council to actually buy off them would be, seems like it's an impossible task. Hope the stadium can hold 70k plus people. Yeah, it's not going to be that anywhere near that, actually. I believe these are around 55,000, if that. I think the original plan was, so it's nowhere near 70,000. But you see that a lot with new stadiums. You see, the Juventus stadiums only like what 41,000. Um, yeah, it's modern stadiums really to save on cost and to like maximize on ticket revenue, to charge more as well because they want to make it more exclusive and all that kind of stuff. They don't make them as big. So I can't remember the exact figure because obviously the plan's not actually been fully finalized, but I believe it's not anywhere near 70,000. But yeah, we would be able to fill that easily. But we know in Italy in general, stadiums don't really get filled out like they do in Premier League or Bundesliga, which is an ongoing issue. Um, Arrows for the to the net are needed for Lautaro. Wow, even today, guys, we're not even saving the slander, not even saving the slander for the players. For the players today, I wonder if Suning are able to go through with the project with everything happening in China. Yeah, I mean it's not really hinging on Suning. It's hinging on the Milan Council because it's not all Suning. It's half and half. So all the costs will be half and half with Inter and Milan. Everything is in place. Everything is agreed between Inter and Milan. Milan are happy with everything financially with Inter. Um, and yeah, this is actually the last thing, according to all reports. Inter and Suning are waiting for this to be approved, so then they can sell the club. This is the last thing that Suning are waiting for, because in their 1 billion valuation of the club, which that's what Suning value the club, they're including that this stadium approval is already part. So whoever, that's the reason why the stall's in the negotiation with the BC partners happened apparently, because there was disagreements in valuation of the club, because Suning are already including the value of this new stadium, the infrastructure, the everything around the stadium included in the value of Inter. So they're saying 800, 900, 1 billion euros. They're saying because they want to increase the value before they sell. And then obviously quite rightly, most companies are like, or whoever's investing is like, we're not going to pay for something that's not actually been officially approved. There's no stamp of approval. There's no agreement with the Milan Council. So quite rightly, that's the reason why I think there's been a bit of a stall at the moment in terms of ownership. But as soon as something like this is approved, something has been rubber stamped, green check, you like, whoever, it doesn't matter if it's Suning or if it's PIF, whoever comes in, the stadium is getting built, then yeah, it'll be a lot. The club becomes a lot more attractive straight away, as well. So it is really important that this goes through for Inter as a club, for the for the long term of Inter, but also for Suning, so they can actually finally sell the club and cut their losses and leave, which majority of the fan base now quite rightly want. Parmeshwar says he preferred Sport Monica before, but Populous has grown on him. These dinosaurs now need to prove the stadium. Yeah, we're literally waiting for these dinosaurs in Italy, um, just to prove it, man. Just to prove it. Job creations, infrastructure creation, the amount of influx of tourism, everything. There's so many benefits. Of course, there's gonna be like short-term cons of disruption, or the buildings, and maybe some environmental things about building this whole thing. But long term, for the city of Milan, for the clubs, it's just a positive thing, and it just needs to be approved. Parmeshwar is clarifying is 60k. Yeah, 60k is still pretty decent. Bigger than much bigger than the Juventus stadium. So yeah, very good. Aaron in the house, what's up, brother? Um, if it'll hold 60k, only then ticket prices have to increase. That won't go well with the Italians. Yeah, but you have to find a good medium. We saw what happened with the Milan fans for the Champions League prices. There was a bit of a kind of a revolt from the fans. It was like, yo, you guys are charging too much for these Champions League matches. And then the club took a U-turn quickly. I think they decreased the prices pretty much 2 days after the club or the fans released a statement. So we'll see. It's definitely the clubs in their mind, business speaking, financially speaking, they would like to charge top dollar, like clubs in England do. Even Leicester now. I live in Leicester here, and ever since Leicester won the Premier League, ever since Leicester have been becoming like a top 6 team regularly now. whenever I try to go watch Leicester, the tickets are a lot more expensive now. The stadium isn't big, the King Power Stadium. That's another 35, 40k stadium. And I tried to go watch Leicester versus Napoli just a couple of weeks ago when Napoli were here for the Europa League, and it was £41, which doesn't sound like much, but I remember when you could go to Leicester matches for 15, 20 quid. So this is what happens when it's nice when the club becomes successful, but then they also start charging the fan. The merchandising becomes more expensive, the tickets become more expensive, season ticket becomes more expensive. So yeah, it's modern football is becoming hard to keep up with. um yeah, everyone will get onto the announced losses as well. He's already bought the shake clothes. Make it happen. Yeah, we'll keep an eye out on the PIF news. Don't worry, guys. Um, yeah, we're not getting the stadium. We're just announcing the project that's actually won or winning the proposal between the two projects. Um, yeah, Smiley, I really don't understand like why, like what is the holdup in Italy? Like even like Rocco Commisso at Fiorentina has spoken about how the battles he's had with the Fiorentina, like the Firenze, like Florence Council, to get this, to get the like a plan for a new stadium approval. In the end, he's built like a new training ground for Viola, for the Viola, called Viola Park, which looks state of the art, amazing training ground. The plans are anyway, but the stadium it just didn't get improved. And you're gonna put off for future investors as well. Like investors want to be able to come in and create infrastructure, raise the value of the club with these kind of things as well. So the future of Inter will be decided by the end of the year. Yeah, pretty much. This is a lot of hinges on for Inter on this decision, because How Suning will sell Inter will depend on this. If Suning sell Inter will depend on this. I think they're really gambling on this paying off, because then they can sell the club for higher value. Um, Look at how the German clubs and Bundesliga handle COVID. They still manage to make profits or smaller losses. Yeah, that's because it's run a lot more sustainably compared to any other league in the world. The Premier League is able to be sustainable because the revenues are so high, but the Bundesliga's revenues are even less than Serie A. But the sustainability, the salaries, the revenue, match day revenues, all that kind of stuff is a lot more sustainable. They don't spend above their means. A lot of the clubs are have the 50, the 51-49 kind of model, where clubs, the fans have a big say. The fans are shareholders of the club, so they're run completely differently. But the Bundesliga, in my opinion, should be the model to look to if you want to, for the future of football, really, if you want to keep football to be sustainable. Yeah, we have to renew all the stadiums if you want to attract investors. You want to make it visually as well. When you watch a Serie A match, a lot of the when you watch a match at the Bentegodi, the Hellas Verona Stadium, these ancient stadiums, it just doesn't look right. These Olympic stadiums, man, it just does, like the cameras like double the distance from any other pitch. It just doesn't look attractive. So there's a lot of things wrong with Italian football, and for me, stadiums is right at the top as a number one issue for me, personally, along with like racism and all that kind of stuff. But marketing wise, getting club owned stadiums should be the priority, and I don't understand why the bureaucracy just keeps blocking it. Yeah, it depends on who wins the election. A lot of hinging on that in Milan for the elections. Regarding ticket prices, Blind Hope says that they could also lower since they don't pay the stadium rent. Yeah, you could say that, but that's as you said, Blind Hope. These guys, especially when we get into Inter's finances, you'll see these guys definitely won't, and they don't need to reduce costs. They want to increase the prices. Um, Italian politics, as Alessandro says. Rakin, oh, another guy from Leicester. Nice. Leicester in the house. LC. Live in Leicester as well. Ticket price have shot up by quite a lot. Yeah. I mean, unless you're a season ticket holder for Leicester, which some of my friends are, they can still get tickets for, 15, £20. But if you're not a season ticket holder, it's really hard to get a hold of a ticket. Yeah, exactly. If you own the stadium, the council rent is gone. Italian culture is fear of change. Yeah, I mean, I grew up in Italy, so I know exactly, what that thing is not. It's not like a stereotype. It is. It's the truth. There's a lot of, Italy in general is quite a traditionalist, conservative country. Which is nice in terms of conserving a lot of the history and heritage, a lot of the buildings and historical artifacts that are in Italy. But also at some point you have to advance and progress, which in Italy can be a little bit resistant to that change. Yeah, every in all, I think pretty much every country in the world apart from Italy, that's the case. I think all the main leagues. I don't know about the smaller leagues, but all the top five leagues, I think that's just the basics. Um, yeah, so that was the Interspac. That's still going on. That project is still alive. The Interspac. Um, is they're trying to have that German model, yes, but with that, the fact is you have to have the in like Bayern have the three big A's that they call them the three. They need to attract three big or some sort of big corporations to put some money through as well. Like Bayern Munich have Adidas, Allianz, and Audi. Is it or someone else? Three, I think. Yeah, that's three A's. And they own a big chunk of the club, which keeps you need someone like that because yes, they're talking about this Interspac thing that fans will be able to put 500 euros towards this, or it'll cost 1,000 euros, something like that, and then you become a shareholder in Inter. But the amount of fans you need for that, I know they put polls out. The polls are all positive, but when it actually comes to putting money down, we'll see how many people actually put money, through to that project, and that won't get anywhere near the value of what Suning are asking, the 750, 800 million. Like, so you need someone that is providing at least 500, 600 million cash flow as well at the same time, and then you've got this other percentage of fans that also own a percentage. So we'll see, but I don't really see that happening in Italy, just because, as we talked about, that model doesn't exist in Italy, and as we said, Italy is quite resistant to these kind of changes. But I wish them the best of luck, and I would like to invite them on the channel as well to discuss that project. I know they were on Inter Worldwide to discuss it a while back. It's probably I do really like it as a concept, but I don't know how feasible it is, especially for a club of the size of Inter, because obviously the German clubs their system was like that already from the beginning, whereas now to implement it to a size of to a club like Inter would be probably quite difficult. But yeah, ideally that's probably the right way. You like the new animation? Yeah, I do like it. It's quite cool. Yeah, and it lets me put like a little background music as well, so maybe hopefully it sounds nice, and the audio sounds good. Do I support Leicester? No, I don't support Leicester, but I do sympathize with them because they're my local club there, based locally, and yeah, they play good football. I like some of the players, Tielemans, Vardy, um, and they're a nice club as well. They do really nice things in the community. But yeah, as I said, it's quite hard to get tickets for them these days because they've become so popular. Um, I really enjoyed our football tutor failed third grade math when discussing Inter's financial losses. Yeah, yeah, it is. It was funny, and we'll get into that now. If I was the Inter owner, what would you do stadium wise, and would you sell the club? Yeah, I mean, if my company that I own, let's say Sharma International Holdings, was making as many losses as Suning are right now, I would sell Inter straight away because I need to look at my actual my businesses first, and take care of that business first rather than football. Um, and yeah, I would push as much as possible for the new stadium. It's the most important thing. Like, even if they are looking to sell the stadium, as I said, like, to increase the value of the club, is owning a stadium that you know such a good something to have. It's an asset. It's a great asset to have. So it's really important that this happens. But yeah, guys, we talked about how important it is to the financial future for Inter and Milan as well. But speaking of the finances, let's get into today's news about Inter's financial released their financial statement today, or they released a like a snippet of the financial statement, like a general outlook of what happened in this for the for the 2020 season, for the 2020 year, the financial 2020 year. Let me pull up the press release from Inter on their official website, and then we can talk about whether, should we panic. So the board of directors approves the financial statement for the 2020-21 season. So the entire 2020-21 financial year was significantly affected by the socio-economic impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. We know that both Italy and worldwide. Within this context, consolidated revenues were 364 million. The financial year recorded losses of 245.6 million euros. So this is, the headline that's going around at the moment of Inter making. These are record losses, guys. This is the highest loss ever made in the Italian football history by any club. So quite rightly, we're getting flamed for it on social media by the fans of other clubs and stuff like that. But it was expected because of the lack of matchday income following the closure of stadiums because of the COVID pandemic. When the stadiums closed in early March, the reduction in sponsorship contracts as a result of the club being unable to provide benefits and the liquidation of sports contracts. So, the sponsors that were there, a lot of the contracts hinge on, the match day, like they're there. A lot of the money that was supposed to be coming in didn't quite come in. Antonello, the CEO of the financial side of things for Inter, he estimated that the Inter lost around 70 million euros from stadium income, not just ticket revenue, but merchandising, all the stuff that goes around at the stadium. So big losses that were already expected. So this is not today's loss. This is not like a massive surprise. It's a little bit of the actual figure is a little bit surprised because they were estimating it to be around 200 something million, maybe 200, 210, but actually turned out to be 245, which was higher than expected. But we'll have a look why that is. There was actually a couple of good Twitter threads. Franco Vanni, who is a writer for the Repubblica newspaper in Italy, explains it really well. So of the 245 million losses, 110 come straight from the COVID impact, so 70 from the missed stadium revenues, as explained, including the merchandising at the stadium, plus 40 of those sponsors that we just mentioned that could not pay due to the lower attractiveness of the championship behind the closed doors. And then I think this is where the extra, 30, 40 million that were kind of more than the estimates came from. So 29 million relate to the operations about, the cancellation of the contracts of Nainggolan and Jean Mario. So because Jean Mario and Nainggolan had a value on Inter's books, around, six, I think Jean Mario was 6 or 7 million. I think Nainggolan was also 6 or 7 million. And then they both were left on free transfers. They were released, but it costs money in terms of on the books. That comes down as a loss. So Inter recorded those two as a loss on the books, and those two add up to around a 29 million. We won't know the exact number, so these are actually estimates at the moment, because Inter will release a full financial statement, I think in a couple of weeks, or in a month or so, they will release like a full, in-depth financial statement that will show every little transaction that will show. But these are they sound about right. All these are estimates at the moment. So million coming from the Jean-Marie and Nainggolan. Thank you very much, lads. If you didn't cause enough pain already, now causing us extra pain. And then another 14 attributable to the severance pay for Antonio Conte and his staff. So let's not forget, Antonio Conte got a 7.5 million payoff, which obviously that is net. So in the gross amount, there's about 14 million that he and his staff cost in terms of money, getting rid of those guys. So that adds up to that kind of extra 40 million mark that we didn't expect. And also the moving forward, the Hakimi and Lukaku sales, they weren't registered in this year, so they will be registered in the next year. So next year's will be already much better. And the Icardi plus Valenza was included in the previous year, so that's why. So these are the factors that kind of made this year a lot worse than than it looks. So Inter really, these are kind of accounting tricks that Juventus did, and also Inter now, because they've loaded all the losses for this financial year. And it's not just Inter, by the way. As you can see, um, Inter last year made 102 million in losses, and this year 245. But Juventus as well, just before this, they broke the record with 209 just a few weeks ago. And Milan, the previous year got 194, and they actually managed to reduce it by 100 million, only making 96. But combined, these three clubs over the last 2 or 3 seasons, they've made almost €1 billion in terms of loss. So like the outlook for Italian football in general, this is not just about Inter, this is about Italian football in general. It's really, really been hit badly by the pandemic. So it's not just about Inter. Yeah, there's another person here who explains how the budget, the 2021 accounts look a lot worse because of the Gianmario and Raja Nangolan dismissals and the Conte stuff as well. But Inter, moving forward, where is it? Moving forward, the outlook for the current season, they've already taking steps to improving this, and by this time next year, guys, the books are going to be looking a lot better. The club strategy is focused on monitoring costs. We've seen that over the past summer, the sales of Lukaku and Hakimi adding up to around 170 million, reducing the wages as well. The wage bill was reduced by around 15%, reducing, halving the wages of Kolarov, Ranocchia, D'Ambrosio, all these guys, Gianmario leaving, Nangolan leaving, Lukaku's hefty wages out of the books, Hakimi, wages as well. So, and then next year, probably the Vidal wages, more wages will be cut. Probably more what AC Milan are doing, that kind of model will be adopted, a lot more of a cost-cutting method, while continuing to invest appropriate resources to develop the club. I'm not sure about that sentence there. One major result, which is why also next season, let's not forget, next season's books will be looking a lot better. The sponsorships that we've talked about this season, the arrival of socios, they're paying around 20-25 million euros per season for the sponsorships on the front of our shirts, the digital bits side, on the sleeve sponsorships, plus them being our digital banking partners now. That's another, I think, was it like 20 million. Lenovo becoming a bigger partner at the back of the shirt as well. More partnerships in returning, and also importantly, stadiums are going to return. They haven't returned to full capacity yet, but even the partial reopening ensures the club can once again tap into an essential revenue stream. So this action will enable us to significantly reduce the group's losses for the 21-22 season. So should we be worried about these 245 million losses? Yes and no. Of course, 245 million loss, that is an astounding figure. I mean, any other business in the world, you'd be like, you'd be super worried. But in football, these kind of losses, you've seen, football is just a weird business. There's no other business out there that's happy with making a loss every single year. But in terms of being worried, no, as the club is already tackling the issue. We're already taking steps to and the estimated actually for next season is around, if things stay the same and depending on how much we spend in the transfer market as well, it'll be around 40 to 50 million losses. I've seen a few people estimate for next year, the same people that estimated these kind of losses, who were pretty spot on. So the main worry is about more the debt that Inter have, which is not related to the loss. These are running the club costs, but the debts that Inter currently have, the bonds that Inter have taken out, the Oak Tree 275 million loan. There's another existing bond that Inter already have. The debt Inter have amounts to around 600-700 million or something like that. So that's more the worrying part. These kind of things are the running costs of the club, which obviously are worrying, but they're not a big worry long term. So yeah, it doesn't look great, but these were expected, guys. There's nothing, it's not like the Inter accountants woke up today and they were like, yo, 245 million. Didn't see that coming. These guys know that this was coming. It was predicted because of the pandemic, and this is why these massive cost-cutting measures came in. It wasn't just because of Suning, and we've seen with Juventus, guys. The only difference with Juventus now is their revenue is higher. That's why the losses weren't as high. But also moving forward, because their owners are not crippled at the moment as ours are, they've been able to do a 400 million cash capital injection through Exor, the owning company of Juventus. So that means that moving forward, they will still continue to, they're fine continuing to make losses and keep pumping money into the club. Whereas with Suning, they have pumped a lot of money into this club, but now they don't have that anymore. They can't. They're not able to pump money into the club anymore. So moving forward, expect, and that's why I've been saying on my streams, people have been talking about, oh, in January we need to buy this guy, this guy Kostic, Gosens, all these guys, but it's going to be more austerity, guys. It's going to be more difficult times ahead for Inter fans. So I'm not trying to be like, negative, but I'm just trying to warn you guys to, and I was warning people this whole summer that, calm your expectations down. Even though we won the Scudetto, just calm your expectations, because it's things are looking difficult. I've been saying actually since last season. Actually, even we did more last season than I expected. I wasn't even expecting to be able to afford the likes of Vidal coming in and those kind of wages coming in. So I was already surprised by what was happening the summer before. So I'm expecting really difficult few transfer windows continuing for Auxilio and Marotta. They're going to have to continue to do some miracles until new owners come in. What do I think of Americans investing in Serie A? Yeah, I mean, I actually have like a little map about Americans investing in Serie A. Let me see if I can find it, because it shows, the American influence in Serie A at the moment. I don't really have like, some sort of anything against particular countries. Like, it's not about the Americans themselves, but because these American investors usually are investment funds who come in, and their goal isn't, to win things. You can see now there's many Americans coming in after Genoa recently been bought out, bringing a number of clubs to 7 that are now owned by North American investors, so American and Canadian. So that includes, the Friedkin for Roma, Comiso at Fiorentina, Saputo for Bologna, Niederauer for Venezia, Elliott for Milan, as we know. And yeah, Genoa now with the 777 partners, and Platek for Spezia. So yeah, the USA stranglehold is becoming quite big. But yeah, I don't have anything against American owners, but it's just that I know majority for an American, unless they're Italian American, like maybe like, these kind of Rocco Commisso or, Friedkin, maybe these people that kind of have a connection to, Italy, they have kind of roots in Italy and have, some sort of ambition to win things as a club and create like a legacy in that sense, then I don't have anything against it. But mostly American investment funds seem to be the ones sniffing around, and yeah, they're not really coming in to improve the squad or things like that. They're trying to make a quick buck and sell the club on, which Ellie are doing amazing at Milan, but Milan fans will see soon they will be sold as well, because they're just there to quickly improve the finances, and as soon as the club looks like it's sustainable and is doing well, they'll be sold. So that's how it is. So I don't have any particular preference to a country that comes in, but I just want rich owners that are going to be there for a while and looking to create a sustainable winning model. That's what we want as owners, right? Which owner do I prefer, American owner or PIF? Yeah, definitely PIF, if you ask me. I know people have like these moral issues about what PIF do outside of football, but to me, I care about what happens on the football pitch. Give me that moolah, man. Give me that moolah. Yeah, apparently, yeah. I was talking to Rabona TV, Adrian, and he was telling me that not so much Lazaro. He's saying that Lazaro is not really had much of an impact. But João Mario, he was saying that he was the man of the match yesterday against Barcelona. So yeah, Inter are to roll over these losses into next year income tax sheet. Yeah, so um, actually, no, they've actually included, from what I read for people online, some of the financial experts are saying they've actually tried to include as many losses into this year's. They're like, rather than sweeping it into next year's, they're like, no, they're fully loaded this year's losses to this 245 million number, and then next year is going to be a much cleaner account. Zizou says Italian football needs to be promoted better. They need to renovate all of the old stadiums for sure. In some countries, you can watch Serie A on YouTube for free. That's really bad look on Italian football. Yeah, I know that is it in the Middle East, the the Serie A is able to be seen for free, right? Which is crazy. What's going on here? Ahmad has sent me a DM on Instagram. Let me see what it says. Spalletti, what is it? Oh, Spalletti didn't know the Spartak trainer. He got it wrong. He went to shake the wrong guy's hand. No, I mean, I guess I don't really know who the Spartak coach was. So easy mistake to make. If anything, I'm more worried about the debt on the balance sheet than the net losses from profit and loss, because that's easy to fix. Yeah, that's the main worry, more the debts, and that's the reason why there's pressure on Suning as well from Oak Tree, the company who gave us the 275 million loan. We have to repay that in 3 years with interest. That's the big issue at the moment at Inter. Alessandro says we need to keep going like we are. The team is good. If we can get results, winning something, and nice football, we can get better entries again. We need to be with the team. Yeah, I mean, we're doing fine. It's just we started on this cost-cutting measure now. It's like we're going to have to do more. So the next transfer window is going to be even more difficult for Marotta, because then, Vidal's contract is expiring. Will Alexis Sanchez leave? Kolarov is going to leave. So they're going to have to replace a lot of players. Vecino. Is Gagliardini going to leave? There's a lot of question marks for the next one, and I think you're going to have to adopt a more Elliott/Milan type model where you try to go for younger, cheaper, lower wages types of players, but still trying to keep the level high, which is difficult. And Milan do deserve a lot of credit for being able to keep or even improve the level actually from the last few years whilst cutting cost. Sharma the Drip Lord is returning. Yeah, Lazaro. Yeah, he's gonna return, man. He's gonna return. No one's gonna pay and keep this guy. It looks like we're gonna be stuck with Lazaro like we are with Dalbert and Jean Mario. You think PIF will borrow crazy money or they make spot purchases? We'll have to see. I don't think you can't, because FFP, the financial fair play, has been at the moment put on hold, but it will be back in full effect as soon as things return to normal. So you still have to spend within your means. First thing, we'll have to improve. You still have to improve your revenues, which is quite hard to do with the Serie A clubs in general. But with the new stadium, you're able to do that. If you do better in the Champions League, you're able to do that, and yeah, they'll be able to make spot purchases. But it depends. I don't think they'll come and spend crazy money. I think that those times are over. What Man City did, what PSG did at the beginning, what Chelsea did at the beginning. Those times are over. Whoever comes in is going to have to do it in a smart way, because you still have to do it within your means. But unless they pump some crazy money through those sponsorships like Man City and PSG did, but it's still, you have to pump money in. But I think the way forward is making it smart purchases, because if you're there for the long term, you have to make smart purchases. What do I rate the chances of financial takeover PIF? I have no clue, guys. I'm not a journalist. I have no connections within the circle, and I don't know how true those rumors are. That's why I refuse to cover it until there's proper Italian sources confirming these things. At the moment, only the sources that are coming out are like some some Saudi journalists, some tweets here and there, but nothing, certain. And I think it hinges a lot on what happens with because they're trying to buy Newcastle. If they manage to actually pull through with that Newcastle purchase, then this definitely won't happen. So I don't know. I can't give you an answer on that. Yeah, but we do have a lot of good young players that are potentially coming back. Van Hoysden, I think, is definitely going to be a backup option next season. I'm not sure about Pirola because, Serie B experience. I think he probably needs something else. Mulattieri as well. Esposito maybe, Agume as well, low contracts. But definitely, I would, if that's the way forward, I'd rather see that happening, and then we can recalibrate our expectations. And because then you definitely can't expect Scudetto winning and all these kind of things if you have those types of players on your team. But I'm happy to accept that if you have a clear, youth project like that, like Milan fans, accept. Milan were robbed, but as Interisti, it's sad to see, but also funny to see for us. 10 yellow cards and 2 red cards in the Napoli game. Wow, geez, it's a feisty one. But yeah, that was the two main topics I wanted to discuss today. Before ending it, a couple of more topics I wanted to discuss with you guys. Marcelo Brozovic contract renewals are supposed to be, underway soon. Marcelo Brozovic, who actually recently completed 250 games for Inter, by the way, guys, and he is, people are not realizing he's getting up there in terms of appearances. He's 38th in the all-time list according to Transfermarkt, higher than Maicon, more appearances than Lord D'Ambrosio as well. D'Ambrosio's been here longer, but has less appearances than Brozovic because obviously now D'Ambrosio has become a backup. More than Icardi, more than Ranocchia. And yeah, who has he got in his sights now? Brozovic, he's got some big names in his sights, Julius Caesar on 300, he can reach him, probably if he stays, by next season, he's reaching, Julius Caesar, Stankovic as well. So, he's getting quite high up, Brozovic. You don't realize how long he's been here, but also how, integral he's been in many different, eras of this this decade. He's been here since 2015, 2016. And, apart from the first, couple of seasons, he's been a vital part every single season for Inter. And according to reports now, Inter, his representatives are expected to hold direct discussions with Inter in October to extend his contract, which expires at the end of this season. It's believed the Croatian has every intention of staying with the club, despite being in a situation where he could probably move for free to a team who play much higher wage than Inter can offer. Yes and no. I mean, that's the thing with Brozovic, as we know. Like, he's a great midfielder. He's proven that over the years, but he's never really seemed to attract too much, high caliber attention. He wants to be paid at least 5 million a season, which is, the wage that Çalhanoğlu is on now, which is, fair enough. He deserves to be at least paid as much as Hakan. Brozovic feels he deserves to be a higher earner due to his importance to the team. Yeah, it's true. You can't deny that. He should be earning, when you look at, Rabiot, Ramsey, at Juventus, those guys are earning like 7.5 million. This guy should be earning, because he is one of the best midfielders in the league for sure. I know there's a few detractors of Marcelo Brozovic, but he deserves to be for sure one of the high earners of this team. He's one of the leaders of this team. There's no denying that for sure. So we'll keep a lookout on that front for the Marcelo Brozovic contract negotiations. And then the last thing I wanted to discuss was the Andre Onana. We discussed that in the last video that, Fabrizio Romano and a few of the sources have said that, is looking more and more likely that he's going to be the new keeper, or he's going to be signed by Inter at the end of, this season as a free transfer. But a couple of days ago, something flared up, or was it yesterday? A Bernd Leno rumor just flared up out of nowhere. The German newspaper Bild put out a statement saying that, Inter are interested in Leno for January, and Leno himself apparently was also talking about potentially moving or looking to new moves, because he's not number one at Arsenal anymore. After falling behind Ramsdale in the pecking order, Bernd Leno is believed to be open to joining the Nerazzurri. The club would much rather sign Onana, though. This is what is coming out. the rumors that are coming out. Sorry, Romano actually denied the Ben Leno rumors. Sorry, it was the Bild, the German newspaper, was the one that put out the rumor that Inter are interested, but actually Romano said the opposite and said that they're not interested in Leno. They're going in all in for Onana, and it's almost a done deal according to Romano. But we'll wait and see that until more sources confirm that. But yeah, personally speaking, he's not bad. He's not a bad goalkeeper. He's had a rough time at Arsenal. But Arsenal in general, as we know, they're just a toxic cesspit over the last few years. No talent has been able to kind of flourish there, apart from their likes of Saka and um, other youth players that they actually have. But these likes of players, like the likes of Xhaka, we've seen when he plays for Switzerland, he's a good player. I think Bernd Leno is a good goalkeeper, but personally, I would prefer still Andre Onana. He's younger. I think he would command less of a salary. I think he's probably got a higher ceiling as well. I think he's better with his feet as well. That Ajax school of coaching, the Barcelona school of coaching. So I would much rather go for someone like Andre Onana, who will be available on a free as well by the end of the season. Um, and yeah, definitely prefer him to Leno. Um, I personally don't think he's trash. I think he's had a rough time at Arsenal for sure. But Arsenal fans themselves, I've spoken to a few of them when the rumors came out, and they said that he is a good goalkeeper. He just hasn't quite worked out in terms of the defense he's had in front of him has not been good over the last few years, so he's had to face a lot of shots. And with his feet, he's not great for sure. That's what Arsenal fans. That's the main. I think that's why Arteta's now put him out of the team, because he's not that great with his feet. And I've been told that he's not very commanding in the area in terms of communication, in terms of grabbing balls, corners, and free kicks. Um, yeah, even physically looks a little bit on the skinnier side for a goalkeeper, so he's not the most commanding presence. Whereas Onana, he's a lot more athletic, a lot more bulkier, a lot more explosive, better with his feet. But I haven't watched as much of Onana as I have Leno. But personally speaking, because Onana would be cheaper, younger, better with his feet, and I think hungrier in terms of proving, because he's had the year out of for this ban that he's had for the last year. I think he's going to be very hungry to prove himself to the world that he's still a good goalkeeper, or wants to break into the great goalkeepers. Abu here says he thinks Leno is a great goalkeeper, better than Onana. Yeah, I wouldn't. I think I wouldn't disagree with that personally, but he's definitely had a rough time at Arsenal. Um, who wants to lose 100 million euros a year for a football club? Yeah, that's the thing. No one wants to do that, but football is not really a money-making business. Not many teams out there make profit. You can go and look at the financial statements. Even Premier League teams who have so much revenue, they still struggle to make profit on a year-on-year basis. Like, a lot of them make losses every single year, even though the Premier League revenue is crazy. Football is just, it's not a money-making business. If you're in football, you're not going to make much money unless you're in it to be in it for a bit and then sell it on. Leno's so bad with his feet, definitely wouldn't fit into. Yeah, we definitely need someone that's good with his feet. No mannequin challenge. Yeah, I mean, all of these guys are definitely an upgrade on the current Handanovic. No slander on Handanovic in general, but the current Handanovic, you can't say that these guys are not an upgrade. I don't want to. Yes, Leno's not had a great time at Arsenal, but I don't want to hear that he's a downgrade on Handanovic, because this guy still, would provide me shot stopping wise from more than what Handanovic is providing us at the moment. We've seen it's just the decline of Handanovic is sad to see, because he has been a really, really good goalkeeper over the past decade, Handanovic. But yeah, guys, and now a stream coming up now. And hope you guys were kind of opened your eyes to some of the things regarding the stadium and the financial issues and things like that. Onze Milano says, without defense, we need a keeper with good reflexes, because our trio is a wall that won't let direct shots. Nothing against Handanovic. Yeah, nothing against Handanovic ever. I'm never slandering Handanovic for what he's done or the leadership or anything. This is just business. Let's not forget, guys, Julio Cesar, legend of the club, 300 appearances for Inter, treble winner. How was he? Try to remember. How was Julio Cesar sold at the end of his time at Inter? He was almost, kicked out of the club the way he was treated. It was very cold-blooded by Inter the way they got rid of Julio Cesar at the end of his time and replaced Handanovic. Sorry, replaced him with Handanovic from Udinese at the time. Because Julio Cesar was clearly declining at the time, like Handanovic is at the moment. And the Inter at that time, even then, we weren't particularly great in great, financial status. That was towards the end of the Moratti era. We weren't great, but it was very ruthless, and that's how football, is. You have to, if there's a weak spot in the team, you have to address it. And Handanovic at the moment is a weak spot in the team. Um, and I know a lot of people are like, you should treat Handanovic with respect, which is true. But if there are better options out there available, you have to ensure that they come in. If Onana is available to come in even in January, pay 2 or 3 million to Ajax if the finances allow. You have to do that. Even though he's going to the AFCON Cup, but even if he's able to integrate by February, March, doesn't mean you take Handanovic out of the team straight away. But you have to start thinking to the future. The Handanovic situation should have been addressed like the season before already. Like we were already talking about, you need to find a Handanovic replacement soon, but it's been kind of swept under the rug, and it seems like no one was wanting to kind of address it. But yeah, no disrespect ever to Handanovic for sure. Abu says he's okay with the little he's seen from Radu. We need to see more of him. Yeah, we need to see more of him. We can't really make our mind up with Radu until we see more of him. And even the little we see, you can't judge him because he's so rusty. He's played such little football over the last year or so that it's hard to judge a goalkeeper until you give him, regular minutes. Yeah, tomorrow, guys, Sassuolo preview today. We didn't speak about anything relating to. I want to speak about injury news and stuff, but we'll just cover it tomorrow when I'll do the Sassuolo preview, which will be, the matches on Saturday. So preview out tomorrow. And yeah, guys, hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys enjoy this new setup with Restream. This new animation, the music in the background. Let me know. Yeah, actually, let me know, guys. Did you enjoy this new kind of setup, or do you prefer the old setup with like the scroller underneath? Yeah, just quick thoughts on that before I leave. It would be nice to get your feedback on that, because if you guys didn't enjoy this, then I'll just go back to the old way of doing things. But I do quite like the visuals, and I like how I can stream to Twitch and Twitter at the same time. So the multi streaming ability is quite good on this Restream. So yeah, let me know quickly before I go what your thoughts is on this. Zizo says the new setup is really nice. Okay. Matteo also agrees the new setup is nice. I like. Okay. I'll keep it. Yeah, I'll start using this then. I think I'll stop using. Maybe I'll still use StreamYard here and there, but I think I'll start using this more and more often. Yeah, we'll see. Well, you definitely won't play against Sassuolo. You can forget about that. But yeah, guys, thank you very much today for coming in and interacting with me as always. Leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new to the channel. See you tomorrow for the Sassuolo preview. If you're interested in joining the channel membership, you can click down below to join, and you can contribute to the channel and support the channel and contribute to the Pupi Zanetti Foundation. And yeah, ciao ragazzi, forza Inter.